Hello and welcome everyone to the SGL podcast, and today marks the second episode of this podcast. I am your host Labeli, and together with me is also
DoukieGaming on Twitch.
Yes, so we are gonna talk about something that is a bit of pressing news at the moment in the world. Today we're going to be talking about Russia going to war against Ukraine, or rather Russia invading Ukraine. And we have looked through a few articles. There are like a lot of information out there that basically talks about the current situation, what's going on, stuff like that. So we have decided that we would want to share our opinions on the matter and look through some of these articles. So what we are going to look at first is from a local newspaper in my country. So apparently, Danish citizens are getting ready to help Ukrainian immigrants with food and housing, and play dates for their children, and some even help translating for the immigrants. So what's your thoughts on that, Doki?
Honestly, that is just a great way to support the people currently that are in that situation, because we're doing something similar here in Sweden, though we're not really taking people in. We're more like providing Ukraine with food, armors, helmets, vests, weaponry, and rations. And that's our way of supporting Ukraine and trying to get them to survive this entire ordeal. Because, and due to that, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys actually knew about this, but about 2 days ago, 2 days ago approximately, we had Russian fighter jets flying in Swedish airspace.
Oh, wait, you had?
Yeah. They were flying inside of Swedish airspace, like 2 kilometers in.
What the?
But what they weren't ready to was that the second they flew in, the Swedish fighters were out. We flew out instantly. They were basically testing borders. They came in, but we sent our fighter planes out, and they decided to yeet out of it. They decided to they disappeared because we sent planes instantly.
Damn, that is that gotta be scary though. But as far as I know, you don't really live that close to the border.
No, like basically, the thing is, from some of the information that I've collected with the current situation, in Ukraine, is that Russia don't really have the economy right now to do this.
Oh
whatsoever.
Yeah. That, what, that's a really good I'm gonna let you finish talking because I got a really good segue into that. I think it's the right word, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, because the thing is, from some of the information that I collected, it seems that Russia, if we count the days now, they have about approximately 7 days left in their budget to be able to keep up with this invasion. Russian soldiers are starving because they don't have the food. And they're getting fed by Ukrainian citizens because they don't have food.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yes, there was a video on TikTok where a Russian soldier were crying because he was getting fed from the Ukrainians when he didn't have any food. But do mind you that this guy didn't want to go to war or kill Ukrainians either. He was just following orders. Okay, and he had no choice than to fight against them. Yet they had the heart to give him food and keep him fed.
I mean, that's honestly, I think it's quite admirable that people are willing to give food to someone that essentially is the enemy. But I think a lot of people around the world understands that this war is not a Russian war. It's Putin and his adversaries, I guess you could call it. Or
well, it's more like Putin actually has lost his mind.
Yeah, there's a bit of a agenda to this, definitely. But not to get too far into that, because I wanted to
we digress.
I wanted to go into that like economy thing, because there's something interesting here that I found an article of. This was also in a local Danish newspaper, and it says as such. So the tech giant Apple, huge company obviously, has stopped all sales of their product in Russia.
Yep. Not only that, IKEA have stopped as well.
Ooh.
A lot of
dude, I remember.
IKEA's
I saw
pulled
it on
out.
news.
IKEA's pulled out. Was it? I think Microsoft and all of those other companies that were inside there. I think even was it brands like Louis Vuitton and all that? They have pulled out.
Oh yeah. I have seen some of it. I remember seeing a video on YouTube where a lot of Russians just stormed into an IKEA and bought more products than a Swedish person on a Black Friday.
Yeah, because they're pulling all of their wares out of Russia.
Holy fuck, man! Like
of Russia, because you know what, people are like, okay, Russia, you're gonna be like this. You want to be the cause of a third world war. You know what? Anything that supplies to this, we're gonna pull out. Companies is being like, no.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like that. There's a lot of people like pulling, not people, rather companies. A lot of companies are like pulling out and stopping transactions. But not only that, there's something more to this Apple story. So it seems like Apple has also blocked the downloads of the 2 Russian propaganda media, BDS. So there's Russia Today, I think it's called, and then Sputnik. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's the names that came up in the article. So that means that like, also Apple has also suspended all use of Apple Pay in Russia. So that actually means that if you're Russian and you like online gaming and you use Google Chrome, or you like mobile gaming for that matter, you're fucked. I mean,
yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
You're so fucked. I mean, it's just. I mean, granted, it's Apple, right? So it's like their own browser, and like I did say Chrome, but like honestly, like either way, I think if you're just at this point in time, being Russian just gotta suck, especially if you're a gamer. Like if you're a Russian gamer, it really has to suck, because like the economy just it flatlines. And one thing I'm actually so this is a bit of like I'm going a bit off topic on this, but I'm just thinking the Russian server of Lost Ark. Oh my god. That has to be in the worst position it has ever been in ever since its release, because right now, like any online transactions, like the Russian rubles or whatever, I mean they are down to being pretty much nothing. So
I need to actually see that. Hold on.
Well, I just gotta make it clear that this is like pure speculation on my part, that something like this might happen, because if you look at the news, you can see that the Russian ruble is losing its value quite a lot over the last few days.
Hold on. Holy shit.
Yeah, you're seeing it now?
Are they fucking kidding me? 1 ruble. Wait, 100 Swedish crowns is almost 1,000 ruble.
Yeah. There's a huge inflation going on right now in the country because of all the sanctions.
Okay, hold up a minute. So if I decide, my pay in Russian ruble is total 228,000 What the fuck?
But to be fair, like the Russian rubles are just gonna increase. Like there's gonna be more inflation. It's really gonna suck because I think buying produce, just groceries, getting the essentials, food, clean, stuff to clean with, toilet paper. I mean, remember the fucking toilet paper crisis? I mean, holy shit, man! They're gonna feel it now. They're gonna feel it now.
Oh yeah, in Sweden, people have been prepared. Preppers are going crazy right away. I went to one of the stores.
Oh yeah.
In Sweden, called Willys, right? This is the thing. I'm just gonna do my grocery shopping. I come in, like, now, mind you, this place is huge. It's like a big superstore, right?
Yeah.
Like grocery superstore. I walk in. Half of the store is empty.
Oh, you mean like of people
empty.
Or of what?
Wares.
Oh, okay. It's like you're building up the drama, but
yeah, no, but for real, like
I thought
the wares are gone.
Okay.
Like you canned food, none. The entire shelf is gone, emptied out. Pasta gone, rice gone.
So what
toilet
you mean?
Paper gone.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So what you mean is that people have buying provisions because they're afraid a war will break out.
Yeah, people are preparing. So basically, the entire store is half empty. All essential stuff. Toilet paper gone. I was like, bro, this is a Corona 2.0. It's like everything is getting emptied out. Well, and mind you, they were putting stuff back on the shelf, and I saw people taking stuff from the resupply and putting that into their cart to go and pay for it. Like they couldn't even refill because people kept taking from them. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my god.
Like, no, like think about it like this, okay? Let's
I mean, but hey, Dookie, let's be fair. I think it's justified. I think it's justified in a way.
It's justified, but it looks so comedial. Like, okay, this guy. Let's say let's say this bottle right here, right? It's something fresh that needs to be put out, right? This guy picks it up. He's about to put it up there. Customer comes, mine. I'm just like,
wait, straight out of his fucking hand.
Yes.
What? No.
Yes, what they did. And I was just like,
oh no.
I was like, hold up a minute. He's trying to do his job. Can you guys back the fuck off? Like, for real. Like, give him space.
What the heck, dude? Oh my god.
And I was like, and this entire time people kept running back, forth, back. And I heard like, oh, they replenished some of the pasta. Boom, a wave of people walking past. I was like, oh shit, I actually need pasta myself. I went and took one. I was like, I'm taking one. You guys be nice. Don't fight. Nah, people just putting shit all over the place. Canned tuna, you couldn't find that anywhere.
Well, glad I'm not in Sweden then, because then I couldn't have my afternoon sandwich.
Well, they were replenishing. I told them like, how are you guys gonna handle this? They're like, well, we're kind of ready for this, and we have an entire stock outside. So I was like, okay. But people have been cleaning out that freaking store.
Well, I think businesses right now, they must be really glad that business is thriving just because of fear. But I digress. It's definitely not something you would want to happen, but it is happening. All right, so I think so there's something here I actually wanted to go over and hear your opinion on. I think that could be quite interesting to talk about. So I'm looking here at my second monitor where I have my notes, and here I can see that so this is from an old news article. I don't quite remember where I found it, but that said, so protests against the war have happened in Russia, and an estimated 2,000 people have been protesting, and roughly, I think it was 700 people, I wrote here, have been arrested for protesting. And that's pretty much it. So apparently, a lot of people have tried to protest against the war because obviously, there are a lot of them that do not want the war to happen. Excuse me.
No worries.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that don't want this to happen. I think it's very obvious because we can see the effects that it has on Russia right now. Now, I'm gonna ask you this: like, don't you think it's extremely dangerous for them to actually protest when it's against the law? Like, 700 people, like out of 2,000, have been arrested.
I've heard that over 6,000 people have been arrested.
Oh, it's more than that. Fuck.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
That is at least what I've heard.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like, it's anecdotal evidence, right? It's like, it's not factual, is it?
Yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of Russian people out there risking their own lives to not have to be a part of this war that is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean,
completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like, what is there to gain for Russia? Like, what does Russia gain from this? As far as I know, Russia is pretty fucking huge. Like, already, Russia is like so much bigger. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty damn sure you can put the Scandinavian countries together and times that by 3 or 5 or whatever. Like, I'm really bad at math, but I would assume so, and put it into Russia, and it still wouldn't cover the space. Like, Russia is pretty fucking huge, and it's pretty damn close to America as well.
Yeah. The thing is, though, the US, they have our backs, from what we've heard from Biden, at least.
Yeah, well, it's just like, if they... So, the problem for Russia, right, is that if they do decide to invade a native... what the fuck to say? NATO, how the fuck do you want to pronounce it? NATO country. So, a NATO protected country. If they invade that, or any allies to NATO, they're gonna have America right up against their backs. Like, they can't really win, because, like, if Russia attacks, then America has an easy time to invade, right? Like, it's not that far of a distance for America to get to Russia. Like, I know when you look at on the world map, it looks like America is pretty far away from Russia, but it's because we're used to see, like, not the globe, but like the sheet of paper.
They can get there easily from their from Canada, the Canadian side, like the
Alaska.
Connects all. Alaska, yeah. There
Alaska,
we go.
yeah. They, like, from Alaska, they can get pretty damn close, and
they can. Yeah. And they can do quite the harm.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I don't think Russia is in a really good spot here, because, like, I don't think their military power, or like strong. I don't think their military power is strong enough to actually withstand an attack from what essentially ends up being the whole world coming from every side. And
yeah,
it just,
do you know what China's stand is in this? Because I know they are allies with them, but
so far as I know, they are. Well, they are allies, yes, but I know that they right now seem to be quite neutral about.
Oh no, they're just busy attacking Taiwan instead.
yeah, but it's pretty much
too busy with Taiwan.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just the way I see it, and the things I've heard. You know, it's I don't have any facts to confirm it. So for anyone listening in or watching this podcast, we can't neither, deny or confirm whether or not this is true, but I do believe that China is against this. I do believe that China do not want a war to happen because China wants their GDP to increase, not decrease. And being on the bad side of some of the countries that they can have trades with, to raise their economy, it most definitely becomes very very tricky for them to do anything, right? Because I don't think anyone wants any war exactly, and from how it looks right now, I mean, I don't really think China wants to be backing Russia that is essentially losing the war they started. And that's my way of saying that we're going on to the next talking point, because this is actually something I find quite interesting. So, it seems like that Ukraine has managed to fight back Russia and win some of the territory back. I'm reading this off of my notes. Some Russian soldiers have even surrendered to the Ukrainian army. You mentioned that, Doki, a little bit. After finding out what they went to war for. So, essentially, what we're finding out here is that a good amount of the troops that Putin sent in to invade Ukraine have realized what they have started and said, nope, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like, I don't want to be any part of this. This is not me. This is not the kind of war I want. So they have surrendered. Now, because a lot of soldiers have surrendered and pretty much decided that, you know what, they neither gonna like fight back against their own country, but are not gonna fight against Ukraine. It's like they are staying neutral, I would assume. But the fact that so many soldiers decide to not take up the fight, it means that Ukrainian soldiers have managed to actually like hold back the Russian forces, and they are actually slowly winning back and pulling back the invasion. So what I'm mostly surprised about is the fact that, like, even though this war is going on, it seems like that the Russian army is on the losing side of things. And I find that weird. And I find that weird because it's like, he obviously went to war with the intention of, like, doing something with it, right? Like, there has to be something that in Putin's head that was like, this is gonna happen. I want this to happen. But why? Why would you even start this? Like, what do you have to gain from it? And I think that's the main issue here, is that, like, even his army, like his army's morale, they're like, why are we fighting? Like, if half his army doesn't really want to fight with him, or for him for that matter, what war is there to win? Yeah, it's like, it's so weird.
Like, there was one thing I saw, like, one thing they actually mentioned, which made me think, like, oh, he's just gone batshit crazy. With the entire Corona thing, right? He has practically been isolated for 2 years. Now add someone that has been isolated for 2 years. Because look at the meeting he had together with with his cabinet, right? They're all sitting on the other end of the table together, while Putin is sitting like 5-6 meters away on the edge of the table.
What
right?
The fuck? Yeah.
Mind you that, okay? So 2 years. 2 goddamn years. He's been isolated. Now add on top of that someone that has been isolated for so long and now also has power. Add that up, the situation in Ukraine is what the result is going to be.
So
he must have had some kind of vision while he was isolated and be like, yes, this is going to be a great idea. Not really.
So if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is that the isolation has made him gone mad.
Yeah. Because no matter how you look at it, there was no reason for Russia to really invade. Out of a sentimental value? That doesn't sound right. It's like literally like being like, I say this one dude, oh bro, it's out of sentimental value, I'm just gonna punch your face right, boom. Doesn't make sense, right?
No, it does not. Actually, seems very weird. I mean, to my experience, unlike what I've learned through school and stuff like that,
Yeah.
through my education, I've noticed that like, so I study a good amount of psychology, because it's a part of like what I need to learn, and from just basic psychology, I think your theory holds true. I mean, when people experience some sense of existential dread, and like they feel like they feel like the purpose that they had in life isn't really fulfilled, or like they envision themselves in another place. Now it might sound like I'm saying that Putin is having a midlife crisis. I guess that definitely isn't the case, because it's not.
It's not a midlife. It's a high life crisis.
High life. Yeah, dude. Like I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. I don't know where I was going with this, but I think what I'm trying to say is that
he's having an existential crisis.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah. He's just. I think he's just. He's scared. He's afraid, and he wants to be remembered. And you know what?
He basically wants to be an important figure into Russia, which he was earlier before the corona, but since corona, he's basically faded away.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
that must be the entire thing, though.
I feel like he wants to be in the history books, right? And I think the quote like, you either become the hero or you wait
live long enough to become the villain yourself. Yeah,
it's just like I think a lot of Russians respected Putin and what he has done for the country, I would guess. But with that said,
he has now he's basically fucked it all.
Yeah,
with his one move.
I know. No, okay, so the thing is, like, Putin, without a doubt, is a dictator. There's a bit of a dictatorship, because it's very clear that when... So I watched an interview where someone went around interviewing people in Russia, right? And just about the majority of them that were interviewed were not aware of the situation. Now, a lot of them that were aware of the situation happening in the world said that they would not comment on it. They would simply not talk about it because they knew it would be dangerous for them.
Yeah.
And I think that just speaks volumes, right? Like, the fact that they don't want to speak about it just because, like, they know they're being filmed or whatever, like, they know you can get out there, it just kind of shows that there is some fear related to this, like, whole thing. And I think it's very obvious that a lot of Russians might not even know that there is a war going on. Like, literally, there was this old man that said, well, Putin would never go to war against Ukraine because we got the Russian brothers living in Ukraine.
Yeah, you want to know something funny about that, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Tell me.
The thing that they are showing in the Russian TV is that Ukraine is attacking us, so we're just defending ourselves by invading them. Who started the war? Russia. But their propaganda is telling the Russian people that Ukraine attacked them first.
God damn, man. I mean, it really makes you wonder, right?
That's why I stand my point. I think Putin has lost it.
Yeah, you know what? I think I think you're right. I think you're right on that. Like, I don't think it's. I think it's hard to like try to explain it any other way. Like,
with his age and all,
yeah,
it's just normal. If you get
man.
isolated for that long, he's not young. His mind is gonna deteriorate. And honestly, he has had so much shit now to the point where when they have basically nothing to do with except staying away from people and social distancing, which he still is doing it to extreme lengths. Plus that with his age and the loneliness he probably felt for a while because he's the president and he can't really have, I don't know if he has much of a family and all that, but as it looks like, it doesn't seem that he didn't have that many people near him. But yeah, the entire situation is just, yeah, you know, it feels like he's lost it somehow.
Yeah, well, with that said,
you know.
Yeah, but with that said, Doki, I think we're just gonna leave it there and then move on to our next segment. So the next segment on our agenda here is story time. So it's gonna be related to the topic, and I think we're just gonna I think I'm gonna talk about like how I felt when I heard the news. Like, how about that? Like, yeah, let's talk about how our experience was when we first heard that Russia invaded Ukraine. Do you want to start, Doki, or should I?
My entire situation was just like, wait, what the fuck? Russia is invading Ukraine? Why? And then when I heard, well, it's a sentimental issue, as like sentimental value, I was like, fuck that sentimental value. Who the fuck? Why do you bring out feelings into this shit, bro? We are all grown-ups. You're a man with power. Can you use your power responsibly and not be, oh, you hurt me, or I miss this country, so I'm gonna steal it, it's mine. Bro, no. There's people that live there, there's a government, they're doing fine. They want to get away from you guys, and you're being like the clingy ex. Where the fuck do you think you're going? You come back to me. And if they decide that they don't want to be with you, you start beating them up instead. They think that's gonna work. But in this case, you're the one trying to beat them up, but the Ukraine now has the entire family behind herself. At the end of what, you know, family dude from what's it called? Fast and Furious. You cannot add in Dominic in this part. Anyways, and they are gonna beat you up in case you try anything else. But since you have threatened with bombing the shit out of people are being careful and supporting them without doing anything, because you said if you guys even try anything, we'll bomb you. Bro, you want to start a nuclear winter? Because the moment you send one, the US gonna send one, and then maybe someone. Okay, I probably shouldn't say this part. Now I'm just gonna keep that part out because it can be too offensive, I guess. I'm just not gonna say that. But anyway, so some trigger happy people probably send it too.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely think that, yeah, right in that. But what I hear from what you're saying, it's basically like you just had the biggest like what the fuck moment.
Yeah, I had the biggest what the fuck moment. I was just like trying to think about this scenario. And the thing that I was thinking the most of was like my family. I thought the first thing about my family, if war breaks out and we get affected, how can I protect my family? That was the first thought. To protect the close people to me. That's the only thing I thought about. How can I protect my family? And nothing else. Nothing more.
You know, interestingly, right? It's like my experience was completely different. When I heard the news of Russia invading Ukraine, I started to get like a lot of anxiety, you know? And I was like, I went on my computer, I looked at the news, like update, like there was this like timeline. Oh shit. It was this like timeline where it like it's so from the top would be the news, and then when you scroll down it would be the older news, and I just followed everything what was happening. So many things were just just bam, 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 bam. You know, it's just everywhere. Sanctions just was thrown all over the place. Like,
yeah, I just need to remember that the sanctions. What was that again? It basically said that things that Russia owe.
there was some banks that closed and stuff like that. But let's go. Remember that, because we're gonna go into that. I just want to finish my story while I still remember it.
Yeah.
So basically, what ended up happening was that holy shit. Like, when all that happened, I started to feel all of this anxiety build up inside of me. And I sat down. I legitimately sat down and listened to the whole speech that Joe Biden had.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I heard from my local news station, or like my local news or whatever, that Biden was gonna have a speech, I just listened to all of it and tried to hear what he had to say. And it seemed like that America was definitely very willing to have like sanctions put in place, and not only that, also lending some troops to defend the NATO countries. But overall, they had no intention of going to war, simply because there was no reason to go to war. But Joe Biden did mention that if Putin should ever invade any of America's allies, they would bring the full force of the American army to defend.
Basically, he's gonna get the wrath, and on top of that, with the NATO armies, they're not gonna win it. Sorry, they're not.
Yeah, holy shit.
They're not gonna win, because
especially not with how it is right now with Ukraine, right? Because Ukraine is actually just winning the war.
Just think about it. Like, they're gonna get invaded from the west, the east, and then if Sweden decides to join in on that with submarines from the north,
which most likely will happen.
Yeah, because there's one funny thing about that. There's a certain submarine that Sweden has that not even the US can track and find.
I remember you told me about this. It was the picture, right? It was something about a picture.
Yeah, basically they went to one of their bases, came up they basically submerged. Oh wait, yeah, emerged. Was it a submerged or emerged or whatever? They came up anyways, took a selfie, went down again, and then sent that picture to the base. And the base was just like, wait, what the fuck? Isn't that our base? Yep. Wait, when was this picture taken? Oh, just a few minutes ago? Wait, what? Yeah, this is just us saying hello to you guys.
Yeah, it's the second time I hear it and still find it so fascinating that it happened.
Now, yeah, just think about it. If the US decided to be like, let's load some of your submarines with missiles.
Yeah, but you know what? To just like finish my story, I followed the news so closely for like 3 to 4 hours, man. I just couldn't sleep that night. I had so much anxiety, and I had a test the next day. It did not go well. I did not finish that fucking test. But it was a test to the actual test, or a test to get ready for the actual exam or whatever. So it's not like
a test. It's
not like it was a practice test, right? It was just like wasn't that important. I mean, it was just to see how we were doing. But holy shit, like. I really started to feel physically ill, like I had really bad because of all that anxiety. So I decided to distance myself from the whole fucking situation because it was just too much. I did spend some time talking to some of my classmates, my family, stuff like that, and a bunch of other different people, including you, about this whole conflict, and it had made me feel a lot better. So for anyone out there struggling with anxiety about this whole thing, or afraid of going to war or shit like that, talk to friends, talk to family, bring some light to the whole situation, talk about how you feel about it, and seek some help, because that's definitely helped me.
Yeah, for me, it was just like, I was just like, why? Like, why are you even doing this? It's like, you guys have made history about world wars and all of that shit, and now you're trying to create one? It's like, this is a spark. This can spark an entire world war. Or actually, would it be called a world war if everyone is just turning against one guy? Actually, it was the same with the Germany. Never mind. I just noticed how stupid it would have sounded if I kept going with that sentence.
I mean, not entirely, because some countries were allied. But yes, a world war essentially, a world war means that every country in the world, is involved in the war that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's called a world war. So essentially, it just, like, even if it's just the whole world against one guy, it's still world war because everyone's involved. So I I know we moved a bit away from the main topic, but there's something I want to cover and hear your opinion on. So I got this through an American media. Trevor Noah?
Wait, hold on. Say again?
Trevor Noah.
No, actually, no. Never heard of. Wait, Trevor Noah. Is that the guy that usually has this show?
Yes.
Wait, I think I know. He's actually pretty. Hold on.
The Daily Show. That I just had to remember. The Daily Show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I actually had to look this up. So he has the Daily Show.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he covers like news and stuff like that. And a lot of like Ukrainians, they are like immigrating, out of the immigrating into other countries. They're trying to flee from their war zone. And apparently, it seems so. The thing he covered was that apparently, black people were held back and told to fight and defend the Ukrainian land.
What?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Black people were told to defend Ukraine. Wait, so if I was in Ukraine and I tried to go back to Sweden and be like, no, you're gonna fight for us. Really?
Yes. Yeah, basically black people were not able to cross the border control.
So they basically tried to throw the black people into a war that wasn't theirs.
Yeah, essentially. Make them fight a war that isn't their war. At least that's what I heard or like saw on like the Daily Show. Now whether or not that source is true, like I did see some clips. I mean, can only speculate, but don't you think it's so bizarre that like?
Yeah, honestly, if that is true and that truth comes out, so I'm just sorry to say, but Ukraine will get shit for it. Once everything's settled, Ukraine will get shit for it.
Oh yeah,
sadly,
definitely.
It will be.
Yeah,
especially if it can trigger some really bad relationships between countries if people get to know that was actually true.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just.
I'm just imagining myself in that situation. I'm trying to get back to my family and they'll be like, no, you're gonna fight for a country. I'll be like, bitch, no, I'm not from here. Let me go. That's what I would have said.
So I'm searching this up, like I'm doing a Google search here, just So this is just like a headline that I can read here. More African students, mind you, students, decry racism at Ukrainian borders. So this is from BBC. Then I'm finding this article. So I'm just gonna read it up here. So, Ukraine conflict. Nigeria condemns treatment of Africans. So I'm just gonna read the article here, so anyone just listening in can have the full picture. So there's a picture of a lot of like black people. Before the conflict, there were several thousand African students in Ukraine. Mind you, students. It's very important. I think this point is like very important to illustrate. Isaac, a Nigerian man trying to get into Poland, said border staff told him they were not tending to Africans. Let me read that over again. Holy, I fucked that up. I need to read it properly. Because it's okay. So Isaac, a Nigerian man trying to get into Poland, said border staff told him they were, quote, not tending to Africans. There, I said it right. Quote, we have been chased back. We have been hit with police armed with sticks. End quote. He told the BBC. South African Foreign Office official Clayson Monyela, if I pronounced that correctly, also said students had been, quote, badly treated, end quote, at the border. There have also been numerous reports of Ukrainian security officials preventing Africans from catching buses and trains going to the border. And then in the article, there's a Twitter post, a video. I'm not gonna play it because we can't see it here on the podcast. But basically, it says the official visuals of Ukrainians blocking Africans from getting on trains. So it's a real thing. It's actually happening. So to continue with the article.
Okay.
There's more. Osman from Nigeria told the BBC he had tried to get on a train in Lviv. I'm just trying to pronounce this. I don't know if it's pronounced correctly. To take him to the Polish border, but was told only Ukrainians would be allowed on board. Nigeria's president Muhammadu Buhari said there were about 4,000 Nigerians in Ukraine, mostly students. So they are essentially denying very young black people from getting out of the country.
That is bad. That is really, really bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop here, man. There's more. He said one group had repeatedly been refused entry to Poland, so they traveled back into Ukraine to head for Hungary instead. So they literally went to one border and then tried to go to the next because they were refused at the Poland border. Whoa. It goes on. So, quote, all who flee a conflict situation have the same right to safe passage under the UN Convention, and the color of their passport, or the color of the passport or their skin should make no difference, end quote, Mr. Buhari said in a tweet. More than 500,000 Ukrainians have managed to flee the Russian invasion so far.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna end it there. Like, there's more to this article, but I think I'm gonna end it there because a lot of it isn't really about the topic at hand. So,
yeah,
what the
I
fuck?
feel like that's gonna be on Poland as well.
Yeah, but you gotta understand. The article says that it's Ukrainians. Like, it just says Ukrainians. Like, it is legitimately Ukrainians denying access for mostly black students to to get out of the country. And these are like people from Nigeria, like people that they essentially put a lot of money and actually risked trying to get a better education somewhere else. Dude, that sucks.
You know, that is like that's gonna come back and bite Ukraine in the ass once this settles down.
Yeah, you don't say. I mean, it's just
it's going to come back and bite their ass so hard for this, because now people are feeling bad for them because they're under attack. But wait until everything calms down, and the Twitter cancel culture is gonna start activating on towards Ukraine. Cancel culture will come for them.
They're
not trying to cancel them now because they're currently getting their asses, like, they're getting attacked.
Yeah.
But once everything settles down, people are gonna be like, oh, but what about this when you guys denied African people to leave the country? And that's gonna be when they're like, about that. I'm just happy I wasn't there.
You know what sucks about this is that, like, it says black people, it says Africans, it's just like mostly people from Nigeria. But I'm just like, what if you're black and you're from another country? Like, for you, for instance, who...
if I have a Swedish passport, I don't think they would stop me, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's
I would be seen as a European.
You are from Sweden, and you have spent most of your life in Sweden, right? As far as I know. So it's just like, it wouldn't really make sense. And at the same time, it's like I know I'm not black, right? Obviously, but I'm white as fuck, man. I'm pale. But dude, it's like, what if that was me? That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, what if that was me getting stopped at the border just because of the color of my skin? Dude, I would be offended. Like, I would be mad as fuck. Like, I would not tolerate this kind of treatment. It's so inhumane. I don't understand, like, what's the fucking difference? In a way, just trying to defend it a little bit. Not that I'm defending racism, but I'm just trying to find some reason to why they might be doing this. I think the reason for this might be because Ukrainians are prioritizing Ukrainians first. So I think they're just protecting their countrymen, women, children, whatever. Like, so if you understand where I'm coming from here, like, it looks like they're looking out for their own.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can completely understand that. But we also have to think about, like, what this can cause.
Yeah,
they're thinking about that. But if that's how they react during crisis, let's say they get to another country and now their countrymen get stopped at the border, what will they do then? What if people in other countries decide, like, oh yeah, you guys are preventing other people to come out, like black people to come out, we're just gonna stop you from coming here, you guys can stay right there? How would they react then?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, personally, I think this is complete fucking bullshit, and it just shouldn't be a thing. And it's not like I'm trying to defend this at all. I'm just trying to find a reason, and I can just see it as, like, they put their own first. But
yeah,
I think that's kind of ridiculous in a way, because, like, if they tell these African students to go fight a war they have no part in, then it's like, what the fuck is wrong with the Ukrainian government if that is actually a thing that's happening? Now, to be fair, that whole thing about, like, fighting for Ukraine, that is not a fact. Like, I can't really confirm or deny that it has been said. It's just that I've heard it somewhere, like,
essentially it is kind of what they're doing anyways, because if they're preventing these people from leaving, what's the only thing they can do is to basically fight to survive.
Yeah, essentially. I don't know, man.
That's just what they're doing. They're just making them fight to survive.
I don't know. I think it's a fucked up situation, and I think it's weird. But I wanted to bring this up because I actually wanted to hear your opinion on it. When I saw it, I was just
I
baffled.
think it's that's just fucked up on so many levels. Like, it's fucked up.
For some reason, I am more surprised and more affected by that happening than like the actual fucking conflict, like the actual fucking war going on.
Yeah, Chris,
it is so wrong. Like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, I don't know. It seems like this whole situation is maybe getting better. So a silver lining to all of this talk, is that I've heard that it looks like the Ukrainian government and the Russian government are negotiating on some kind of terms to possibly end this conflict once and for all. Like, there might be something here. So there is a silver lining to all of this, but as it is right now, there's still a conflict going on. There's still a war. There is still a lot of families and children.
Them, you guys cannot join NATO. Simple.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of things here where it is like, it's a weird fucking situation to be in, and I definitely think that it might go on for quite a while. But as you said, or that you mentioned in this episode,
I'm just thinking about like Russia, Ukraine relationship status. It's complicated.
Yeah, basically. All right, man. But we have reached. I think we're gonna end it on that note, on a little joke, because I think we should end it light. And the podcast has been. I think we have covered what we wanted to talk about.
The majority of it. There's a lot more to cover, but we need to cut it short for there.
Yeah.
If we're gonna keep it for probably another episode.
Yeah,
so,
I think we'll bring this up for a future episode when all of this is over, or if there's like an exciting development that we want to talk about. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and yeah, make sure to check out our social links that will be in the description. And yeah, do you have anything to say or to end with, Doukie?
Well, as Labeli has said, basically follow our social links, keep yourself updated, and also stay safe to all the Ukrainians out there. Even if we heard what we heard, stay safe, survive, and you guys will get through it. Heck, we in Sweden are also probably gonna get invaded at some point, because we already have people in our airspace, bro. I was surprised to hear that, but anyways, we're gonna keep it there. And take care, everyone. Have a great, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
We'll do that. All right.
Skål.
Skål.
Skål, and see ya.
See ya.